Great. So, Kajol and iPhone 9, yes, can you switch on your video?
Just few minutes, Mama.
Yeah, Kajal, please switch on your video because we want to see the faces. Yeah, iPhone 9. Okay, Chitkala, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Let's
great.
begin. No worries.
Yeah. Uh, So, Chitkala Mulya is a self transformation coach and founder of Chitkala Art of Consciousness. She helps individuals build authentic relationship through self awareness, emotional healing, and unconditional love. Her workshops and coaching journeys are known for their depth and warmth and soul led transformation. She also works in the space of intimacy, art, and sound healing. She leads a safe, soulful space, and over 200 members are there in that group. With who and she helps people through conscious conversations and creative expressions for inner growth. An award-winning storyteller, she received a Pride of Maharashtra award and wrote the story and screenplay for Being Human, a short film showcased at Cannes Festival. Her books, Beyond a Love Story and Sachi, offer spiritual journeys into love, truth, and healing. Beyond reimagines family system through the lens of companionship beyond sexuality, while Sachi is a spiritual love story of awakening and self-discovery. So I welcome Chitkala on this platform today for the immense, and I congratulate you for the book that you have written. So welcome Chitkala on our platform, Pehechan Stri Shakti.
Thank you so much, Patri, for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. So, can you tell us about, as you said, self-love and unconditional love are the two sides of the same coin. And as a woman, we all give, and every time we are giving, and we are not giving to our own self, we are not loving our own self because nobody taught us to love our own self. You know, our mothers and our grandmothers, we always saw them giving and not taking care of themselves. So, how, as a relationship coach, you can help the women of India and Pehechan Stri Shakti women of self-love and unconditional love, how they can inculcate it and bring transformation in their life.
Just give me a second. Yeah. So self-love is something talked a lot by the coaches, but today I would portray that in a different way. Usually, self-care and all of these things are considered as a part of self-love. However, going deeper, I would redefine self-love as seeking everything within that we seek outside. So, say we have our partner, we're expecting our partner to do XYZ things. So, try beginning to do that with yourself first, then expecting it from the other person. So, self love can be defined on four levels. One is physical self care, treating your body is like a sacred vessel. Then, emotional resilience, where we totally take ownership of every emotion we are experiencing. Third, and very important, our self growth, where we keep growing intellectually. And fourth is tuning into the purpose of our life. So you can treat these as four cornerstones of self love. Why? Why self love is so essential before we think about unconditional love is because unless and until we are in a position to give, how can we give? I always give a classic example that a mother is given food before she breastfeeds. Before we do charity, we always make sure that our pockets are full. If we're helping somebody who is old, who is ailing, who is not well, we need to ensure that we are physically strong first. So before we take any step towards being unconditional, what does unconditional mean? Unconditional means that we are not supposed to expect anything from the other person. Just love, love, love. Means wish well. To put it simple, stay at a distance, try to give what we can, and keep loving. Now, one more point that you brought up, that women are giving, 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 giving. But are you aware that a woman who is a giver shows wounded feminine energy? A healed divine feminine is supposed to receive. She is supposed to rise in her intuitive power and attract things. And then when she is full, she can give. But first, she is meant to receive things. And if she is mean to receive, she's supposed to create that love within. Once we create that love within, we are in a position to give abundantly. So, giving out of abundance is something that women need to understand. And this is what we need to do to embrace our divine feminine energy.
Yeah. Can you make your mobile horizontal so that we can give a better recording? Yeah, just to put horizontal.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, great. So that's amazing. That's really amazing that because जो भी हमें अभी तक जो भी hurt हुआ है और उसके वजह से हमारे अंदर एक hurt पैदा होता है and we become wounded and that's why we are not able to receive because we are giving constantly and that's why हमें वो आदत नहीं है receive करनी. So can you tell us like कैसे हम receive कर सकते हैं? How we can
पहली
receive, how we can go to a higher level where we can receive unconditionally from people without they
Yes.
judging us. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, tell me, what do you mean by giving? Just give me one small example where we are giving a lot. There, I will tell you how to start receiving.
Emotionally, mentally, doing something physically for the family members, always being there, or doing some physical work, or emotionally, we are supporting them. Financially, we are supporting them.
Okay.
Right. But then
First thing is
there is no reciprocation from the other side. No one is appreciating it. No
yeah,
one is
right.
taking, people are taking it for granted, right? She is doing it, कर रही है ना, करने दो, उसमें क्या है, इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है, खाना बना रही है ना, वो तो सभी लेडीज बनाती है. So
Right.
no one is giving the appreciation for that. So and because of that, there is a lot of lackness, as you said. Self love means you have to give love to yourself at all levels. And so how we can do, how we can give self love, like, and because when we will give self love, then only we can attract like what we want.
Exactly. Absolutely. So that's what is raising the vibe. So that is where boundaries come into the picture. What are boundaries? Boundaries are not like you're distancing something from someone, you're trying to push away someone. Those are not boundaries. Whenever we're giving, we need to be aware. What are we doing? You help somebody once, you take a pause. You stay aware if the person is in a mood to reciprocate or not. If he's not reciprocating, stop giving. Or you give him some time so that he reciprocates someday. But till then, we take a pause. So when you take a pause, you create that emptiness within you where you start attracting things. That doesn't mean you should not give. So first step, love yourself. Second step, take a small step towards giving. Lead by example. Be positive. Be open to receive help. At the same time, you can take help. Like you said, women keep on giving, giving, giving. But if a woman has an option to take help, she doesn't even ask for it. Even it could be intimacy with her partner. She will try to give, give, give. But has she taken a step towards telling her partner that I would be very happy if you do this to me? If it is her family member, has she ever been open to say, okay, I'm tired today. I want your help. So taking a pause can be done in different ways. And this polite way of saying no whenever you are tired, when you start draining yourself, is the point where you set a boundary. So the moment you stop, people start giving you. Because the system, if you don't work, it's going to collapse. So somebody has to run the show. So once you take a step back, the other person has to come, and then everything starts coming towards you. But taking that intelligent pause and creating that space to receive is where we lack. That is why love with strength, love with boundaries is very important. These boundaries can be again executed on 4 levels. First level is physical, practical level, where you simply say, no, I cannot do this. If you can give a reason, give a reason. If you can do without a reason, superb. Just a polite no. When you give explanations, you give the authority in that person's hand. But if you say a simple no, no, sorry, I won't be able to do it. It's done. Second,
Hmm.
emotionally. What happens is most of the women feel guilty when they say no. They think that they are supposed to give. That is how society has conditioned them. So the moment they are open about this fact that I deserve to receive, I deserve to be um, helped by people. Taking help from someone is not weakness, it is a sign of strength, it is a sign of collaboration. That is the point where she becomes strong enough to receive, because reception also needs strength. People have ego, which stops them from receiving things. They think that receiving things is like, oh, how can I do it? I can do everything. So woman needs to drop that guard, feeling that weight on her shoulders that she has to do each and everything. She doesn't have to do it, so that somebody takes over. Third thing is intellectually, how to set boundaries. Use logic. Her emotions need to be balanced with logic. When she gives reasons, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these are the reasons why I'm not doing something. Rather than just playing a victim, rather than just showcasing her emotions, when she brings in logic, reasoning, pointedness in her thoughts and behavior, people start respecting her. These intellectual boundaries where she exhibits her strength with her growth. Her success speaks for her, her actions speak for her. She is looked upon differently. Of course, there are going to be a lot of toxic people who are going to be jealous of her life. They are not going to accept it. But it's her duty to be rooted in this strength. Fourth, spiritual. Raising your vibe, may it be meditation, may it be anything. Everyone has different way to raise their vibe. So keep raising your vibe in such a way that you are in a position of groundedness. At the same time, you hold that strength so that automatically you attract it. So when it comes to spirituality, I would say if you want something, you have to be it. If you want abundance, you have to first embody that emotion of abundance within you. So here comes the beauty of self-love. That if you want love from someone, then are you doing it to yourself? Tell yourself that the world is your mirror. If you are rooted in ego, you won't be able to attract it. You have to first embody, you have to give yourself all that love. Are you able to accept your shadows? Are you able to accept those parts of yourself that you really hate? If you only hate themselves, why people are going to love them? Why people are going to accept you if you're not able to love yourself? So that is where that unconditional self-love comes into the picture, which makes a woman or any person capable enough to create boundaries and protect herself from any negative energy around or any toxicity around.
Okay, great, great, great. So creating boundaries is very important actually. Like many people don't do it because
Yeah,
they feel that other person will feel bad, and they
exactly.
themselves go into guilt that if I say no, they will feel hurt, and then you go into guilt. So that's how the programming is there. That if I say no, people will feel bad. Then I will go into guilt, and my relationship will get disturbed.
Exactly. One more
Yeah,
interesting thing, people who don't like your nose are the ones who get advantaged because of your incapability to say no.
yeah,
So if somebody is making you feel guilty, then you need to remind yourself they are making you feel guilty because they were happy that you were not doing that before. They're getting
right.
all the advantages of you not saying no,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So that's really great that how boundaries can help people to build good relationships, and also helping the other person make aware that what you want, and what making the other person self reflect on himself that what the other person has gone wrong. That's very important. But in most of the cases, if the person is not aware, then he doesn't he blames you, okay, and you for the guilt, and the guilt game starts there because in
Right.
relationships, okay, you can't do this for me, and I expect this to do, and the other person is completely in full giving everything to that person, especially in marriages. especially in couples. Like initially before marriage it's very good because बहुत अच्छा time है, घूम रहे हैं, फिर रहे हैं. But then after marriage, like lot of responsibilities and lot of expectations that come in the relationship, and because of that it's like binding to a woman as well as a man. I'm not saying only women, as well as a man. Both are binded, and actually they are burdened actually sometime that they have to do this and all these things. So how can you help married couples like establish a good bond with each other with unconditional love, self-love, and everything that you have written in your book? Like, can you help the married women and men, like how they can build good relationship?
First thing is we need to understand what is love. Love isn't attachment. Okay. Love is not being together and stopping each other's growth. Love is allowing each other to grow in freedom. Can two birds who are tied fly in the sky? No. We need that beautiful space which keeps our relationship clean from toxicity. So, first of all, we need to identify after the honeymoon phase is over and we are back to our routines. We need to understand that we need to have a distance in between us in such a way that we both get to nurture our own qualities, our hobbies, our interests, passions, whatever. And at the same time, we allow the other person to do that. So then there's no constant friction and clash. The distance is going to change from person to person depending upon the phase of the marriage, depending upon what kind of personalities you are, how much you really align with each other. Because many times when we grow in marriages together, at a point we individually grow in different directions in such a way. Hello. Yeah. Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, you're audible. I was just on a call. Yeah, continue. Yeah,
Okay.
please continue.
Yeah. So what I was saying is we grow in different directions often. So that our alignment is not the way it was before. Or it could really happen that two individuals are very misaligned. In that case, we maintain the distance so that there's no toxicity. We don't control each other because unconditional love is about letting go control, giving each other a lot of freedom and having trust. Trust comes after the freedom is given. Okay. And for that very reason, we need to first detach ourselves from the other person. No one is our possession. Every person has their own beauty to thrive and enjoy their life. Okay. So now how to do it is something that becomes a bit tricky in practical life. So I would like to talk a bit about that. See, people, everyone is imperfect. Nobody is going to be good at everything. People are going to make mistakes. And when two imperfect people come together, obviously mistakes are bound to happen. So then, what I personally follow is I do a Ho'oponopono prayer. It could be any person, family member, friend, anybody. Sometimes in that practical situation, we have to stand our ground, we have to argue, we have to take our stand, we have to fight. However, once the person leaves that room, I close my eyes, I say, I love you, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I thank you. Do you know what happens when we do this? We change our vibration. All the toxicity that we have in our mind gets cleansed. At the same time, it also affects the energy of the other person. So then when we meet the next time, the ego that we might have, the grudges that we might have dissolve a bit. So if we make it a regular practice before interacting with anyone and after interacting with anyone, we become more empowered to love the other person. So we accept the things that are good by showing gratefulness. Then we say that we love because every person has got a good quality in them. They have both the sides. Just the way we have our light and shadows, just the way we have our gray areas, the other person is also going to have. So we are going to focus on the brighter side of the person. So we are going to love that brighter side. Say thank you for the good things done. Say sorry because we are also imperfect. We can do 100 mistakes. Maybe if not from our perspective, but from their perspective. And then forgiveness. Yeah. Forgiveness because somebody has done mistake. They are human. Mistakes are bound to happen. So if we forgive them, they are going to forgive us too. So this effort helps us to establish a healthy bond, irrespective of the situation we are.
Okay. So that's really great that love is not attachment. Many people feel that before getting married and after getting married, it's not only about couples; it's also about parents and children. Many parents they try to control their children, and they feel that they should do according to them. And even in case of couples, it's happening nowadays that everybody wants love, and when they start getting that love from the other person, they don't, of course, human mentality, they don't want, and no one wants to let go that person because you're getting everything.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's a great thought that love is not attachment. It's very important that everyone in relationship, in any relationship, allow each other to grow and give each other the freedom to do what they want. Okay, if that other person is doing something wrong, also in case of like if somebody is doing something wrong and you are guiding that person and that person is not listening, even in that case only unconditional love can help, because ultimately
Absolutely.
you can't control their energies. आप उसको हेल्प कर सकते हो उससे बाहर आने के लिए, बट अल्टीमेटली वो उसका कर्मा है या उसकी चॉइस है कि उसको उस नेगेटिव सिचुएशन से बाहर आना है या नहीं आना है. In that case only you can give unconditional love. What else you can do?
Nothing.
As you said, hoponopono we can do. We can, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. This hoponopono prayer is really wonderful. You can give hoponopono healing to that person. We will do a hoponopono workshop for women, actually. That's really amazing. We can do one more podcast on this, because this is actually very, very important, what we are talking right now. So, allowing each other to grow, and no one is your position, like no one is there. You are not, everyone is a free bird. Everyone has their own free will to do what they want, even if they are in a relationship. So, then how we can avoid these conflicts, like when we are entering into a relationship?
Oh, yeah.
When a
So,
couple, can we sit and discuss that this is what is my boundary and this is what I'm going to do and this is what I don't like? Is it the right
of
way to
course.
tell and be very clear about it, so that it doesn't
Uh,
create any conflict? Setting the boundaries right before we start a relationship, like we do in the
Absolutely.
jobs. When you go to a company for a job interview, you definitely, the owner or the interviewer will tell you, like, this is what we expect. It's just like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
value alignment is very important before we go ahead anywhere, whether it is a company, whether it is a group of friends, whether it is a life partner. So of course, these are values like freedom, unconditional love, all of that we discussed now. So yes, we need to discuss this with our partner before we get married, but most of the challenges come later because people realize these values much later. So then what to do? Right?
Hmm.
Because we are here on earth to learn lessons. We're not here to have fun. In a way, we should have, because this is all a drama and all of that. Keep that spiritual aspect aside. Practically speaking, if we look at each relationship as a lesson coming to us, then we will stop taking things to our ego. If somebody says something to us, maybe we have a narcissist person in our life, or maybe we have an egoist person in our life, and we will feel very, very, very bad, very hurt. And that time we cannot go and tell that person, oh, this is my value. We should not control in love. He would be like, no, I want to control. We cannot decide what their values are, right? Because people eventually change. Nothing is permanent in life. So when this comes into the picture, we need to look for the lesson. So if somebody is a narcissist or an egoist, what is the lesson coming for us? Self-love. Probably we are not valuing ourselves enough, so we attracted that individual in our life. Even when we decide to marry, people can say some things before, change later. So we are never going to get into the reality before we actually step into it. And when we step into it, we're going to get a lot of lessons. If somebody is rude to us, we need to look where we have to strengthen our boundaries. That's a lesson coming for us. So if we
Hmm.
start looking at every situation as a lesson coming for us, the whole dynamics change. That is where we detach ourselves completely. Because we're not going to blame that person for doing anything. We're not going to play like a victim that, oh, this is happening to me, that is happening to me. Every time, say a friend doesn't text you, you feel very hurt. Oh, how can he forget me? Why do you get that feeling? Because it's me that it's important, the ego part. We think from that perspective, "Oh, he has to talk to me. How can he ignore me like that?" Why are we getting this feeling? Because you think you are someone special, you need to be given attention. It could be any reason why that person did not talk to you. It's okay. Did that harm me? No. Why am I talking to that person? Am I seeking validation from anyone? If you are getting hurt because someone is ignoring you, that shows that a part of you needs validation. And these needs which thrive on ego, these needs that thrive on other person's validation, they are big killers of unconditional love. So it's very important to understand what are the killers of unconditional love. Yeah. And then the third aspect of it is flow. What is flow? Flow is accepting that everything is a part of divine master plan. Everything is happening for a higher reason. So if there is a higher reason, okay, I met somebody, I fought with my husband today, I went late to office, oh, but I missed an accident that happened on the same road. Or maybe I would have landed in some trouble, but just because I fought with my husband, I got delayed to my office. So there's a higher purpose behind every situation happening in our life. So once we start looking at this from the bird's eye view, then we detach ourselves completely. We go into an observation mode rather than concluding and drawing judgments. Oh, this person is bad, that person is this way. Who are we to talk about it? Just observe as a movie. Imagine it's a movie, we are all characters, and just keep looking what's happening. So this observation puts you into a state of self-awareness where we learn to detach, and then detachment leads to unconditional.
Okay. Okay. Great. So, one more question that you said, that validation. So, how, when we are seeking approval or we are seeking validation, how we can avoid that? What activity we should do? What exercise we should do on our own self to avoid that validation? Why we always seek that validation, and how we can fulfill our own self and validate our own self?
Okay. So I'll share my own struggle story that could be used by many as a method or whatever. So, I had this habit of telling my close ones, I did this today, this client appreciated me, this good thing happened in my life. I used to share my growth milestones. But in that process, I realized that there were some people who genuinely liked it. There were some people who were totally ignorant about it. Okay, okay, so what? There were some people who even criticized it. Then I turned inward. I realized that whatever is happening is always going to bring in a variety of reactions. So if I keep on going from one person to the other person to the next one, I will always enter into a loop where I will not find myself anytime. I'll be lost, totally lost. And that's where I realized that I should start analyzing my own progress with the previous one. Okay, fine. Somebody said something, we can note down those things also. So now what I do is I take a notebook, I start writing down. Okay, what were the good sides of yesterday? I wrote down. Then where I felt that I lacked, I wrote it down. Where people said a few things about me, I write that down too. And then I actually reflect how much percent of it is true to the situation. Because these are all shadows. What are these? When people say, oh, you were rude there. I mean, I might appear rude to someone, while for someone, I might appear firm. It's all a perception. So perceptions are going to change from person to person. So then I need to analyze that, okay, in this context, maybe somebody said that, oh, Chitkala, why are you not doing this? So I said, I cannot do this. I cannot come to this particular gathering, social gathering, because maybe I have my personal commitments. Maybe some people found it rude that I put my foot down and I really prioritized my career or I prioritized my work. So for some, it could be like, no, 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 family comes first. So then, how do I analyze it? I will say, okay, for people who think that it's the duty of a woman to put social gatherings first, for them, I am rude. For people who probably feel the career is important, would say, okay, Chitkala was firm enough to prioritize her needs because that is what was needed at that time. So then, if I have to balance in between these two reactions, what would I do? Probably I would improve my language rather than fiercely telling what I want. I could say that in a more polite tone. So this can end a battle in a way where I would know, okay, this group of people will always find me wrong. This group of people will find me right. Probably these would be the neutral ones. So once I have this logical clarity about the situation, then I won't need any validation, because I would train myself to stop seeking validation by being self-sufficient first, by having clarity in my thought. And
Mhm.
meditation helps a lot in it.
Mhm. Okay, okay, great. So my next question is also yeah, also related to parents and children, like how how because I think there are women here, so maybe I can ask someone. I can ask a question like some youth is also there, so I can ask like how controlling parents can affect the children and how the children can react to controlling parents. What they should do.
Nowadays, children are very smart. They understand the intentions of parents' behavior. There's no point in being fake. The moment you start controlling, their first reaction is going to be a rebel. The kids who are stronger and probably have a higher self-esteem are going to rebel. So sometimes what works the best, I feel, as a parent, is backing up our actions with logical reasons and leaving the decision to them. For example, rather than telling my daughter it's time for you to go to school or it's time for you to do homework, I have to tell her what will happen if she doesn't do something. If you don't go to school, what are you going to lose? There's nothing in for me to by sending you to school. If you don't go to school, you are not going to have a good life later. So rather than telling her you have to wake up at this time and you have to do this, the better way is to give kids logical reasons. They have that sense to understand what's good for them. Or if say it's about food as well. So rather than telling her about some food choices that this is healthy, this is unhealthy, this is something you should never eat or something, the best way is to show them on the YouTube video. Okay, see, these are the benefits of eating this food. So what would you choose for yourself? Don't you want yourself to be a healthy and stronger kid? So leaving the decision to them by giving them pros and cons of anything helps better, because the part of control comes from emotional instability and insecurity. Parents need to understand this, that if they have will to control, they're going to do it out of this. So she's following some other family member, so my ego is getting hurt. So I'm controlling her and making her do things in my way. But is that logical? So that's where when we balance logic and emotions, we are into a better state of balance. Things are better then, and it's easier to let things flow. And I think every person has their own journey, and so does the child. So they will choose what is the best for them, isn't it?
Okay, 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 great. So that's some things we have to deal logically also in relationship because even though we are emotionally connected to each other, but still we have to keep our
So,
mind at a place when we are dealing in relationship.
so
Our
Prachi,
mind
here I
and
would
heart
like
should
to
be
say something. Compassion with strength. Okay. Logic with emotions. We need balance ultimately. Any extreme is not good. So recently I have launched a Warrior of Love program where I help people love unconditionally while understanding how to set effortless boundaries without letting the relationships get affected.
right, right, right. Yeah. So, can you tell something about like single women? Like if someone is divorced or if someone is not married and if someone is not finding the right partner, how that girl or how that woman can like unconditional love and self-love can help her attract the right partner or live happily, like even if she's not married or even if she's divorced or single mother. Yeah.
That's what my book is about. Sachi, finding the truth within. That buzz on social media that you might hear is
Okay.
exactly about the same thing. Look at this woman, you
Yeah.
will see that her feminine side is balanced by the masculine side. Okay, so the pink color, if you look at the cover of the book, there's a balance, pink and blue, purple. So this book's, let me talk about the big book itself and then
Yeah.
tell you the answer in the same way. So this is about a woman who is betrayed by her husband. Okay, she eventually becomes single, but in that process, she meets a man who triggers all the wounds in her, who triggers her shadows. So it's about a twin flame journey. This book is about a twin flame journey where her journey of self discovery begins. Now, for single women, also, one thing is a very common thing. They're brought up by the society just like everyone else, conditioned in a way where they're told who they are, where their relationships shape them, where their jobs shape them, and they are lost. And then they get divorced and then they get shattered. Oh, where's that me? So, every single woman or a single mother needs to begin her journey of self discovery to find herself first. Before attracting anyone or even thinking about anyone, we need to know who we are. How would we know otherwise who would align with us, right? So in the same way, this book talks about her self-love journey, her healing journey, where she learns to embrace her shadows, where she learns to embrace those ugly parts of her and starts exploring how to achieve this balance. What is inner balance? What is the so-called feminine, masculine energy balance? Put it simple, logic plus emotions, strength with compassion, then pointedness with abstractness, all of that, the typical masculine qualities that we talk about, they need to be balanced by the feminine energies. Means the playfulness needs to be balanced with discipline. The creativity needs to be balanced with a structure. So it's very important to achieve that balance within. So any woman who is single should not seek that partner outside. First, she needs to balance those energies, all the qualities that I mentioned now. I can help in detail later if anybody wants to know more. And then when she becomes balanced, her vibe raises in such a way that she becomes that person whom she wants to attract. So if she wants to marry a compassionate man, somebody who's understanding, somebody who's caring, she needs to become that first. She needs to care for herself first. She needs to become strong first in a way where she doesn't need care, and that is the time when she will attract care.
Right.
She needs to be structured and disciplined first, so that automatically she attracts a man who is strong enough to give whatever she needs, where she goes in the reception mode. So, again, the question that you asked me first, if we want to become a receiver, first we need to have abundant things with us. So that kills our desire to receive more.
Hmm.
Once the desire is gone, the sorrow is gone. Once the sorrow is gone, there's happiness. And then when there's happiness, we attract everything. So we need to embody that state of, oh, I have everything, I don't need anything. So the same thing happens with Sachi. What happens with Sachi? Sachi learns to get everything inside. She learns to find love in other relationships. She changes herself, transforms herself in such a way where she becomes that man who she needs to have in her life. And then the tables turn, and then she attracts the partner she wants and the
Okay.
one who she has been in love with. So I think reading Sachi would be a pleasure for all single women. It's a
Yes.
blueprint to get the man you want, or it's a blueprint of finding yourself, discover yourself, all different dimensions, and be a wholesome person.
Okay, great, great, great. So definitely all viewers can grab a copy of Sachi and discover the inner truth within them, and that's really amazing. I think this is actually one of my favorite topics: unconditional love, self-love, and discovering your inner truth. So, anyone has any questions? Yes, Kajal. And iPhone 9, आपने वीडियो ऑन नहीं किया मैम? Yes.
No, ma'am, no questions.
Yes. iPhone 9, yes. आपने अभी पॉडकास्ट सुना तो आपके रिलेशनशिप्स में, आपके लाइफ में अगर कुछ क्वेरीज है तो प्लीज मैम से पूछिए, तो अभी इसी वक्त सॉल्व हो जाएंगे, आपको अभी इसी वक्त क्लैरिटी आएगा, आप अभी इसी वक्त अपने लोनलीनेस, दुख, तकलीफ से बाहर आओगे, क्योंकि आज ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है रिलेशनशिप, क्योंकि रिलेशनशिप इज द बेस ऑफ एवरीथिंग इन लाइफ। अगर हम खुश हैं अंदर तो ही हम हर जगह खुश रह सकते हैं, हमारे काम में, हमारे बिजनेस में, हमारे रिलेशनशिप्स में, हमारी हेल्थ में। सो एवरीथिंग इज इनसाइड। तो आपके जो भी प्रश्न हैं आप मैम से पूछिए। शी हैज डन लॉट ऑफ हार्ड वर्क ऑन हरसेल्फ एंड इट टेक्स अ लॉट टू राइट सच अ बुक। प्लीज आस्क द क्वेश्चंस बिकॉज दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एवरीवन। आई वांट, दो ही लोग हैं बट मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप अपनी जिंदगी में कुछ लेके जाए आज के पॉडकास्ट। सो यस, yes, Kajal, you want to ask?
No, ma'am, no questions.
Okay, yes. iPhone 9, yes, ma'am. Can you tell your name? Yeah. आवाज नहीं आ रहा है आपका, अनम्यूट करिए मैम.
Yes.
हाँ.
My name is Nalini.
Okay, yeah. Nalini ma'am, please, yeah.
I don't have any such question. But अगर suppose somebody से emotionally बहुत ज़्यादा disturb रहता है, तो what is the solution for that?
Sit with your emotions.
Emotionally weak. मतलब कोई कुछ भी बोलेगा जल्दी इमोशनली डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है या हर्ट हो जाता है, तो
Do you know, I want to tell you something. Do you know, I was a person who chased people. I was someone who used to helplessly run behind love. कोई भी कुछ भी बोले मुझे दर्द हो जाता था. And my journey began जब मुझे realize हुआ enough is enough. So what was my first step? I'll tell you. The first step was I started distancing from all those situations जिसके वजह से मुझे तकलीफ होती थी. I started maintaining some distance from all people who used to bring me under those situations. तीसरी चीज मैं क्या करती थी, जब भी मुझे बहुत ज्यादा तकलीफ होती थी, मैंने लोगों के पास जाके रोना छोड़ दिया, विक्टिम बनना छोड़ दिया कि मेरे पास ऐसा होता है, मेरे साथ ही क्यों ऐसा होता है. क्या होता है ना, जब हम बार बार ये चीज दोहराते हैं तो हम ये पॉसिबिलिटी भूल जाते हैं कि हम खुद कुछ अपने लिए कर सकते हैं. जस्ट इमेजिन, बच्चा जब गिरता है तो माँ क्या बोलती है उसको, स्ट्रांग है ना, उठ जा, कुछ नहीं हुआ, भाग गया दर्द तुम्हारा, बोलती है ना. मगर अगर माँ ने उसको ये बोला, ओ माय गॉड तुम्हें बहुत ज्यादा दर्द हो रहा है, कैसे करोगे, तो बच्चा वही बैठ के रोता रहेगा. तो हम अगर बार बार अपने इमोशंस का इशू बनाएंगे तो हम आगे स्टेप नहीं ले पाएंगे. इसीलिए क्या करना है, किसी को जाके रोना नहीं है, किसी को जाके बताना नहीं है, खुद का मदर बनना है. यू हैव टू बी योर ओन मदर. सिट विथ योर इमोशंस. द ओनली वे टू हीलिंग इज सिटिंग विथ योर इमोशंस एंड ऑब्जर्विंग देम. सो जब कोई भी चीज से दर्द होता है, वहां जाके उसको कुछ मत बोलो, खुद को बाजू में लाओ और ऑब्जर्व करो कि अरे मुझे क्या हो रहा है, वो उसने बोला, मुझे क्या क्या अंदर महसूस हो रहा है, मुझे फिजिकली क्या सेंसेशन हो रहे हैं, मुझे इमोशनली क्या क्या फील हो रहा है, क्यों क्यों क्या क्या रीजन है जिसके वजह से मुझे दर्द हो रहा है. when you start observing your emotions, you will realize that like those cars and vehicles on the road, धीरे 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 वो इमोशन हमें छोड़ के चली जाएगी और फिर एक हल्कापन महसूस होगा कि अच्छा इतना भी कुछ बुरा नहीं हुआ. या फिर कुछ ऑप्शन सामने आएंगे कि ओके, इसने मुझे ये बोला बट शायद अगली सिचुएशन में अवॉइड भी इस तरीके से कर पाऊंगी, या फिर शायद मैं ये जवाब दे पाऊंगी. बट मेक श्योर योर energy is precious, so don't waste your energy in interacting, fighting, giving back. Instead, सोच समझ के एक टाइम पे एक ही बैटल पिक करो और एक ही अच्छी तरीके से जवाब दो, एक दो सेंटेंसेस में ब्रीफली, जिसके वजह से दूसरों का मुंह बंद हो जाए. डोंट waste your energy fighting, because ultimately it backfires because your vibe gets lower. You spoil your own energy, you spoil your mood. Instead, sit with yourself, heal, and be your own mother. Tell yourself, I am with you. Even if the whole world is against you, I am with you. And this is what I did myself with myself. Do you know, as a child, I was bullied. When I got into a relationship for the first time, I chased love. I used to be desperate. I was ready to change myself in every possible way for that person, just to get his love. But eventually, I realized this is not what love is. Love is wishing well for others while being detached, while maintaining that beautiful distance where we just keep growing. There is no dependency. Dependency is not love. And that is where I started growing emotionally independent by again sitting with my emotions.
बट इन सब इमोशनल डिस्टरबेंस की वजह से कॉन्फिडेंस भी लो हो जाता है.
Yeah, so that is where you have to begin your inner work. Every day, what you can do is tell yourself what good things you did. एक पेपर पेन लो, खुद को याद दिलाओ कि अरे मैंने इस सिचुएशन में आज अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, मैंने अच्छी तरीके से ये सिचुएशन हैंडल की. जो जो चीजें खुद के बारे में अच्छी लगती है वो लिखो, हाईलाइट करो, खुद को दोहराओ. और जो चीजें लगी कि अरे यार मैंने क्या किया, ये मैं बकवास हूं, मैं क्या इंसान हूं, उस इंसान को गले लगाओ. जब माँ के दो बच्चे होते हैं, एक टैलेंटेड होता है, दूसरा एवरेज होता है या मिस्टीवियस होता है, क्या करती है माँ, दोनों को प्यार से ही गले लगाती है ना. उसी तरीके से अपने अच्छे साइड्स को अप्रिशिएट करो और जो अपने वीक साइड्स हैं उसको गले लगाओ कि इट्स ओके, इट्स ओके कि किसी ने तुम्हें कुछ बोला, मैं हूं तुम्हारे साथ। किसी ने कुछ भी बोला बट दिस इज योर पॉजिटिव साइड, नेक्स्ट टाइम ऐसे मत करो, नेक्स्ट टाइम एक स्टेप तो आगे जाओ, वन स्टेप एट ए टाइम, ज्यादा कुछ एक्सपेक्ट मत करो खुद से, वन स्टेप एट ए टाइम। आज से कल बेटर होना चाहिए, आज जो हमने किया उससे कल बेटर होना चाहिए, सिंपल वे। इसके वजह से धीरे धीरे कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ता जाता है।
ठीक है।
आई होप आई हैव आंसर्ड योर क्वेश्चन।
यस, थैंक यू। आई ट्राई। आपने जो बोला मैं ट्राई करूंगी, एंड श्योरली आई ट्राई।
Great. Great. So much of clarity we can get through all these things, like whatever we spoke right now. I think we will keep it one more time because there were more women who were I was expecting actually, but then they did not join. Like, so we will do it one more time, taking the time and all the questions that they have. And definitely, I will go through your book because that's really, it will
Read the
also
book.
help me
You will
in
love it,
my
Prachi. You
as
must read.
yeah. So I think मैम नलिनी मैम आपके जो भी क्वेश्चंस थे वो आंसर हुए हैं मैम के द्वारा. So yeah, Kajal, you have any questions?
No, ma'am, no questions.
Okay. Pooja Salve had joined. So now we will be having a business meeting after this. So maybe we will take a 15 minutes break because I think some people are getting late to join. Yes. So as no one has any questions, so I think Chitkala, I think we are done with today's session. And thank you so much for coming to our podcast. And we will be having it more on unconditional love. Some workshops also we can have for women. And Kajal and Nalini ma'am, you can books she will be putting it in the group and also give it to women who are suffering because कैसे है कि यहाँ पे आप 2 लोग आए बट आप ये 2 लोग आप 10 लोगों को 100 लोगों को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हो क्योंकि हर औरत के अंदर वो पावर है कि अगर आप खुद को ट्रांसफॉर्म करते हो तो आप 100 लोगों तक वो पहुंच सकते हो लाइक इवन काजल यू कैन टेल योर फ्रेंड्स because it's not only about women, it's about the teenagers also. They are not getting the love, they are finding it
Absolutely.
outside. They
Yes,
get
ma'am.
into bad relationships, they chase bad boys, girls, they go into
Yes.
bad relationships. They are not getting anything, just they want love because they are not getting it from the parents.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
really important that this topic is really important, that if we love ourselves unconditionally and how to love ourselves unconditionally in this book, Chitkala has really mentioned it. So Kajal, you can take a book and also spread to as many as people you can, and even Nalini ma'am, you can use it for your business also, managing your emotions. And we also conduct emotional freedom therapy workshop that I conduct for managing the emotions, that will be conducting soon, who will be taking up the membership. We are giving so many benefits to the members who are going to come in our group. So definitely you can become a member and you will get many things like through this group. The whole year we will be giving different trainings, podcasts on different topics, consultations, and lot of knowledge. So thank you so much, Chitkala, for coming to Pehechan Stri Shakti, and this is the second time that you have come, and maybe have a good relationship, long-term relationship, and influence more women, more people, and build this planet a lovely planet to live in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So if you want, you can wait. If you want, there will be a meeting, so you can wait.
I have a commitment, so I will have to leave.
Okay, fine. Okay, so definitely then we can leave. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Take
Thanks.
care. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
For me.
So we will be